Tiredness, brain fog, sugar cravings, or frequent thirst can all be harmless, but they can also be signs that your blood sugar is out of balance. In this short video, we'll explore the early and often overlooked symptoms of type 2 diabetes, why prevention matters, and simple steps that you can take today to support your long-term health naturally and effectively. Type 2 diabetes affects millions of people worldwide and is primarily driven by a hidden culprit, insulin resistance. So before blood sugars levels rise, insulin might already be elevated for up to a decade, silently storing fat, increasing hunger, and damaging blood vessels. This early phase is when lifestyle changes can be the most effective, and it's often fully reversible if caught in time. Many symptoms are brushed off, like minor issues. Feeling unusually tired can be one of them. Experiencing brain fog or a bit of stickiness in your cognitive functions. Getting lots of sugar cravings, frequent urination, and increased thirst. So each of these has a physiological reason connected to high blood sugar and insulin dysregulation. Tiredness happens because when insulin resistance develops, glucose can't enter your cells effectively. So even though there's plenty of sugar in the blood, your cells are starved for fuel. That leaves you feeling quite drained, which can bring on sugar cravings. So they'll arise as cells cry out for that energy, even when blood sugar is already high. So your body interprets this as a need for more food, especially quick sugar hits. Your brain fog can result from fluctuating blood sugars and reduced insulin sensitivity in the brain, affecting that cognitive clarity. Ups and downs of appetite, ups and downs of feeling full, and those sugar cravings we mentioned can all happen due to insulin's disruption of the signal sent by your hunger hormones and satiation hormones. And that can leave you feeling very confused as to why there's no feeding you and why you might be hungry very, very shortly after feeling very, very full. These are all very normal signs of abnormal insulin levels. So frequent urination and thirst is a very common early sign of prediabetes and diabetes. And it occurs when the kidneys try to flush out any excess glucose from the bloodstream. So glucose pulls water in, leading to dehydration, and increased thirst. So you might find yourself constantly needing to go to the loo in the evening particularly, and not feeling able to quench your thirst. As well as that, small blood vessel damage can happen in and around the bladder, and around the kidneys, the feet, the hands, and in around the eyes. Now, this will also play a part in, that kind of urinary system feeling a bit disrupted. It can cause itchiness in the hands and feet, tingling, and a gradual blurring of vision. All of that is happening because of those very, very small blood vessels being damaged over time by that high insulin. So all of these can be signals that your body is struggling with glucose regulation, driven by that high insulin level and increased insulin resistance. Now, insulin's effects are extensive and very, very interconnected with other systems in your body. Your liver, and in conditions like non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which we see as a byproduct of raised insulin. So insulin drives what's called de novo lipogenesis, so basically creation of new fat. It's conversion of excess glucose into fat, and that contributes to fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It can raise triglycerides in your blood lipids and lower your HDL cholesterol by stimulating VLDL production and inhibiting fat breakdowns. With your blood vessels that we've mentioned already, high insulin stiffens the arteries, it reduces nitric oxide and promotes microvascular damage. So it is squeezing your blood vessels, which brings up your blood pressure as if you were pinching a garden hose, and it stops what would usually helps the blood vessels to contract back down again. So this can raise your blood pressure, and unfortunately, it can also raise your cardiovascular risk. So fat storage. Insulin promotes fat storage and inhibits fat burning, especially around the belly. It sends out a signal to your whole body to make it very easy to create fat and very difficult to lose fat. So if you found yourself struggling with weight loss, no particular changes in your diet or your lifestyle over the last while, insulin might be to blame. And your hormones. So hormones are hugely played havoc with through insulin. And one of the conditions that we look at here with Ready Care Control is polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is a condition which affects an awful lot of women throughout the world and is root cause by insulin incretion around the body, which increases ovarian androgen production and reduces SHBH, which contributes to symptoms like acne, irregular cycles, hair loss on the head, body hair, and infertility in women. So at the root cause of that as well is insulin resistance. So the insulin being a little bit all over the place with, pre-diabetes, diabetes, there can be signs in other places of the body, and your body is one system. Everything's interconnected. So even though these can seem like very separate entities, very separate conditions, root cause will be the same, which will be that driven up insulin levels. So a note on weight. Weight gain is often more a symptom, not a cause of pre-diabetes and diabetes. Elevated insulin levels drive that fat storage, like we said. So that's why some people with, normal weight can develop type 2, while others with obesity may not. They're not, weight does not equal diabetes. One does not gain diabetes from gaining weight. It's more often time the other way around. So it's not about blaming the weight, it's about understanding insulin and understanding the metabolic conditions that are causing the weight gain and causing the HbA1c and blood sugars and prediabetes and diabetes from showing themselves. So what can you do? Focus on restoring insulin sensitivity, the opposite of insulin resistance. So reduce refined carbohydrates and sugars, as these will all break down to glucose in the bloodstream, bring up the blood sugars, pump out the insulin. So we're trying to bypass that mechanism. So reduce refined carbohydrates and sugars. Prioritize your proteins, eggs, meat, fish, tofu, tempeh. If that's, if you're not a meat eater, prioritize healthy fats, chia seeds, flax seeds, avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and non-starchy vegetables. Any vegetables that grow above the ground are all good. Move your body daily if you can. Walks after your food will help to regulate your insulin. So if all you've time for is 10 minutes in a day, where you choose to put that 10 minutes can have huge effect. So after food, in around a 20-minute, half-hour window is the best time to do a walk if that's all that you can do in that day. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Whatever you can do is brilliant. Sleep well, manage chronic stress as best you can, and understand that there is a link there between elevated chronic stress levels and blood sugars going up. So that's something that is not only a early sign, is there an awful lot of stressors and are there a lot of stressors in my life? Am I starting to see a few of the things that Chloe mentioned here around my sleep being disturbed by multiple trips to the loo, itchy hands and feet, brain fog, weight going up, liver scan the last time they had mentioned to me to watch a few bits, and my stress levels are huge all the time. So chronically elevated stress can lead to blood sugars rising and with that insulin going up. So it's not just a quote unquote nice to have to look after stress levels. It's imperative for your metabolic health and your cardiovascular health. And lastly, try to avoid smoking and keep alcohol moderate. So a low-carb lifestyle is one of the most effective ways to reduce insulin levels and stabilize your blood sugars. It's not about cutting out all the carbs, it's about cutting out the ones that spike insulin the most. Many people feel better very quickly. Fewer cravings, steadier energy, improved lab markers, and even HbA1c going from diabetes, pre-diabetes, right out into the normal range. So I hope you found this helpful. And type 2 and pre-diabetes don't have to be a label of once you have it, that's it, you have it for life and it's only going to get worse. It's very, very preventable, particularly in the early stages. So I hope you found this helpful and mind yourself now. Bye.